how do you describe virtual reality?
I would think of it like a pair of virtual ski goggles. Normal ski goggles, you put them on and you can see the world around you through these goggles. With the Rift, you plug it into a PC that's rendering a virtual world, put the headset on, and now it's like you're looking around inside of a virtual world.
Like I'm actually on the ski slope.
And, or anything else that you can imagine. And that's really the magic of virtual reality, is that you can be anywhere and do anything right from inside your home and actually trick your subconscious into believing that you're in these virtual scenes.
Let me see if I understand what you're saying. My wife had baseball tickets for tonight, but she's all the way back in New York, so I can't go. Are you saying that tonight I could, in the future, put on that headset and actually be at the game with her virtually?
Precisely, and perhaps she's not at the game at all. Perhaps you're not, neither of you are at the game, but virtually you feel like you're both in the best seats at the game. And
so we're both in the baseball stadium virtually.
And not just in the baseball stadium, but potentially in the best seats in the baseball stadium. Unlike the real world, you can cram 1,000 people into the same virtual viewing point in virtual reality.
For Oculus, is gaming sort of the gateway drug, so to speak, and then there are so many other applications of VR after that?
The thing about gaming is that it's kind of been building up to virtual reality the whole time. For decades, games have been getting more realistic, higher frame rate, better graphics, and virtual reality is the obvious next step. People with the technology and the tools and the talent right now to create those virtual worlds are in the games industry. That's why you're seeing so many games at the start of VR.
Before founding Oculus, you were studying journalism in school. So how do you think VR could apply to the journalism world?
I think one of the biggest issues we have right now with news is that it's often hard to draw your own conclusions and to have all of the relevant information. Right now, most ideas are communicated through photos or videos or text, and it's very easy to tell different stories depending on how you frame the video, whether that photo was taken 1 second or the next second. And I think that virtual reality and these types of full scene captures, where you can capture what's actually going on, have the potential to present events to people as they actually occurred, so that they can see the entire frame, everything going on behind the photographer, in front of the photographer, everything that's really happening in a much more accurate way.
I guess up until now, all journalism's been in 2D, 2 dimensions, right? The cameras that are shooting this interview, you're only seeing what's in front of the cameras. You're not seeing what's around the cameras. That's
right.
what VR could change.
Well, absolutely, and I think that really does change the way that you can perceive things. If you're talking about a war zone, if you're talking about political debate, if you're talking about some kind of rally, knowing what is actually happening in that scene, as opposed to what a person is able to capture or the story they want to capture through the frame of a camera. I think the outlets are going to have to be really responsible with this new technology, though, because virtual reality, if used irresponsibly, does have the potential to, I guess, create false equivalency between something that actually happened and something didn't happen. If you take an event and recreate it in VR, or modify it in any way, it can be much more compelling, and it can be easier to convince somebody that that's actually how things happen.
What you're saying is that there's a whole new set of media ethics questions that come with VR.
Yeah, I mean, media ethics are incredibly important, and it's going to be important for people to understand that just because something looks real in virtual reality does not necessarily mean it actually is real. You shouldn't assume it's real unless they're telling you this is unaltered, real, actual captured footage and we haven't done anything. Without that assurance, you don't want to fall into the trap of seeing something in VR and because you feel like you're in the scene saying, this is how it actually happened.